Hey, I'm Louis Bode, and welcome to the 1 Minute Architect, brought to you by Cedo. You know, it never fails. I'm just at the coffee shop, or even if I go to a grocery store, I always wind up with people coming up to me and saying, hey, why is data analytics and coming up with a data analytics solution so difficult in the property and casualty industry? So I got to say, it's tough, but there's ways around it. We're going to spend this minute looking at probably the toughest part first. We're going to tackle the technical aspect of it. What does the schema look like? What do I need from data scientists and from IT departments? So we're headed to the lab right now, and we'll draw it out. It's going to be lots of fun. Okay, here we are. Welcome to the lab. Let's get down to showing the schema. So what does this picture look like? So when you bring it all together and you want to look at a very high level architectural schema of the complexity of the technology that's needed for good analytics, you have to look at something like this. So you have multiple sources, source 1, 2, 3, 4, all different kinds of sources. They're all over the place. They're all laid out different ways in different structures and so forth. So then you got to look at it. Well, how do I break this out into two areas maybe? I've got a static data, which I call a brick, or dynamic data, which is live. So that'd be something like maybe I want to go out and search social media and bring things back from Google or Yelp or you know, any other site, or OSHA or so forth. So what happens is, because there's not one single source that you could really go to for good data, you have to take what I call a village of sources. So because you have many sources, then you have to create all this kind of logic and technology behind it to build out these bricks, to build out things like the fuzzy logic that's needed to, you know, in one place, one source, it might be a larger, you know, fuzzy logic, and it might even be more honed in for another source. You have to build different types of data mining logic, different systems speeds, and what are you going to do with the data that's real time versus the brick, analytical scoring, so you pick the right data. You're not creating Frankenstein, especially on businesses, that you're putting the right person or the right business together with all the different data sources, data schemas from each one, keyword sediment values, and so forth. And then you've got to just say, okay, what does the data scientist want out of their analytical brick, but what does the business want out of that brick as well? Are they wanting to use some of that data for pre-filling, for underwriting logic, to do some maybe pre-underwriting using third-party data or external type of data? And how do I put all that together for a great visual? So there's a huge piece in the technology sector that has to be built out, has to be understood. Some of it's science, some of it's math, and some of it's art. And some of it's just luck, where to get the data and how to bring it. So we're going to talk more about that in some other videos about different types of data, how to get it together, what you're looking for in the different types of data, some of the pitfalls and so forth. Try to level set anybody's expectation of data. Okay, well, now that you saw the schema that's necessary in the technology, we just touched on a very little bit of it, and we'd like to probably drill in for, you know, deeper dives into each one of those topics, because it's very difficult. A lot of engineering needs to go into that. So so we'll spend some time in trying to understand some of that, and I think we could probably do that by looking at some of the different databases that are out there and understanding some of the complexity of business data and so on and so forth. So I hope you enjoyed it. Keep the emails coming on what you'd like to see, what you'd like to hear about. We certainly love doing this for you. We thank Cedo Group for sponsoring it, and we will see you shortly. Bye.